think we're live. Live. 3, 2, 1. All right, cool. Comments.
I was gonna ask, where's the comment?
We got in here. So, what's up, Thomas? How we doing, dude?
We got B-boy stretch.
That's Thomas from UK. He is a Cali, NYC Cali rider. He's a LaQual Lone Star Super Sport rider, and he was the one actually interested in the booger that I was talking about.
Oh, that's it. Okay,
yeah.
Cool.
All right, guys. So, welcome to the Shred Shed session. I have Jackson Lewis here from Hoyt and Duck Batteries, Metroboards. Hoyt,
right,
I was going to say everything's on there. He is the Chief Operations Officer for the Hoyt company and the whole umbrella that's going on there too. So we're so happy to have you on the show today. Really appreciate it. So let's hear a little bit about yourself. We're gonna have a lot of stuff to comment on here. So if you guys want to throw some comments in there and talk about it, things like that as well too, please feel free to do so. We'll check as we go along there too. But why don't you start off with yourself? Introduce yourself.
I'm Jackson Lewis. I'm from Hoboken, New Jersey. I got into Eastgate right at the boosted boom and fell in love with it. The community was really what sold it on me.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, the boosted board. That was an era, dude. I mean,
shout out to Tom.
Oh yeah,
I'm serious. Tom Paget
Yep.
is the reason, honestly, one of the reasons why I was into Eastgate.
So I met him for like the first time ever was Carve NYC. So when Evan and Ty and all those guys hosted that thing, he was at one of the events, and I was just like, dude, I was like, your name was synonymous with boosted, in New York City. So that was definitely a time for him. So you went to school at Rutgers University?
Yeah, Rutgers in Brunswick.
All right, and you studied what there?
I just studied physics.
So kind of like you a little bit to skateboarding development, stuff like that, or?
Well, what really happened was the Rutgers bus system wasn't up to task for me.
Okay. So
I got an Indiegogo board, like single hub motor, 7-mile range. They act and blink S. I see you, Evan. And it just was just enough to get me between the campuses, and it's college, so I could charge it anywhere.
Yeah.
So that got me in love with the practicality of it, because you could just lean it in the classroom and
So that was your what was your first board? What was it?
Acton Blink S.
Never even heard of it. Do they even exist anymore?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Fair enough. Sorry, my phone keeps going dead here. So you said it started for you, your derby, like the journey into the hobby. Did you skate beforehand or anything like that?
Yeah, I grew up longboarding.
All right,
I'm like a really long, 42-inch longboard with originally TKP trucks. Then I got the Gullwing Sidewinder DKP trucks
from Sector 9.
From Sector 9, yeah. With the Sector 9 wheels, it was Sector 9 board. It was all Sector 9.
Yep.
And I rode board like the deck snap.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then by the time the deck snapped, I was already 2 boards into Eastgate.
Okay.
Yeah, I went from Acton Blink S to the original first ever Meepo board.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So V1.
V1.
Wow. So you have that background. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
So that kind of answers that question, is getting into the whole PEV world. You were at college. You picked it up in college time frame, rode around on those 2 different boards, and got involved in that. That's awesome. So when did you get involved with Hoyt? Like, when did Hoyt come into the play here?
Oh, it's like a whole bunch between those two.
Okay.
So I got the Meepo, and the same day I got the Meepo, I deck swapped it to a different deck at the makerspace at Rutgers.
Okay.
And then rode around with the Rutgers Eastgate crew, which I helped found. It was me and Brandon. Brandon the Great. Do you know him on YouTube?
Don't. It sounds familiar though.
Yeah, he had a bunch of reviews. I think he moved on to something else, but me and him started Rutgers Eastgate, and he had a boosted, and I was just keeping up with my Meepo, and then eventually I started going to the NYC group rides, and I needed more battery.
Mm-hmm.
So I made my own enclosure, added I bought a second battery for Meepo, paralleled it. Then I was keeping up, and then I was convinced I was into it. I went full DIY and never looked back. Yeah.
So that's a question further on down the line there. So you get into New York City scene. You're riding with Tom and all the guys like Sanford and all those guys around that city. Yeah. I saw a picture the other day, so posted, I think in the actual NYC chat, and they were talking about like back in the day, boosted, like it was like all boosted boards. Like literally everyone's a boosted board, maybe 1 or 2 like
there weren't
DIY guys.
skateboards back then. They were boosted boards.
Yeah. It was literally that, right? There was no other company. I mean, we all, Casey Neistat really kind of launched that thing into another hemisphere when it came to that. But I remember I wanted one so bad. Like when they first came out, I was like, oh my God. I was living here in Asbury. I was walking distance to my work. So I was like, I can't justify this because I was using my regular push board, and they were like $1,500 or something like that, or $1,800 back then. I wasn't making anywhere near as much money to justify that.
It just didn't make sense back then either. Like a skateboard that cost $2,000. Like,
yeah,
it just didn't. Now it's like, oh, $2,000. That's a great price.
Literally, literally in this production value world in that sense. You come up and they're like $1,500, $1,000. Like, oh, that's a great starting price for a pretty high end board, right? You're like, and then you have people that come to the complete opposite end where there's a $300 board and they're pumped about it. That's kind of what I always love to say, is that people always ask me, like, what's the best board? What's your favorite board? What's your like number one? I said the best board is like, the one that you're riding, essentially. Like, it's the best board. There's a board for everyone. So it doesn't matter whether you're spending $3,000 on a board or $250 on a board. If you're out there riding, you get the bug, you'll eventually climb. You'll see people, you'll go to meet and greets and stuff like that, and you'll be able to get, you're like, oh, well, maybe I want one that has the all-terrain tires on it. And then you're like, okay, I had to charge 3 times that last trip, and that person only had to charge twice. I need to, get a better battery. And then all of a sudden, like, now you're looking at bigger boards, DIYs, all that.
And that's what, the answer to your question. I did my first DIY, practice. Then someone's like, can you help me with this? Can you help me with that? And eventually I started building boards for other people, batteries for other people. Hoyt noticed and offered me a job. So that's how I got to Hoyt.
So that was a very long round answer in that sense. But yeah, so your DIY, I've never seen it in person yet. I'm hoping that maybe you'll bring it to, actually, another question down the line, but Eastgate Con, right? You're going to go to Eastgate Con?
Yeah.
You're going to be there?
Yeah.
Representing Hoyt?
Oh, yeah.
Are you going to bring your board, though?
Like, which one?
Your Haro.
20.
20.
There might be room in the Hoyt mobile.
Oh, no.
Because I brought it last year. I raced on that.
Yeah.
And
the race of Eastgate, man. It was the race. Like, screw everything else. It was the race of Eastgate. Colorado Caddy and you, come on, man. That was
that track was so slippery. But that was just, we didn't even bring that many boards that time.
Yeah.
And Rocinante, that's the name of the board, Rocinante, right, after the Expanse, the ship that James Holden. Anyway, that was like a big, like, the JJ was like, oh yeah, fine, we'll bring it, but it was a pain in the ass.
Yeah,
so we're launching like 4 new boards at Eastgate Con this year. So I'm not sure there's room for Rocinante, but maybe not.
Was that just an exclusive drop of 4 new boards coming out from Hoyt?
Oh no, Hoyt Metroboard.
Oh, Hoyt Metroboard.
Metroboard out,
but 4 new boards total.
Let's see, 1 Metroboard, 1 Hoyt. No, 2 Metroboard, and 2 Metroboards, 2 Hoyts.
Okay. Who we got here? So Battery Mooch and Ewan. I see you there, Ewan. Streaming is glitching. Anyone from? So I'm sorry. Connection might be a little glitchy down there. Early delivery. WTF? Gotta run. Oh. And Craig Taylor. Hey, Craig Taylor. He's Australia. What's up, dude? Thanks so much for stopping by the chat here. Appreciate it, guys. All right. So your position right now is the Chief Operating Officer. What does that exactly mean?
It's a title out of necessity for having a title.
Okay.
I kind of do a little bit of everything. I do all the building and tinkering, or we call it wrench turning at Hoyt. I do some design. There's some parts coming out that I designed for Hoyt. Probably also released at Eastgate Con. Okay. But it's just a part. It's not a big thing. But I'm in charge of marketing, operations, as in, like, hey, we designed this board. How are we going to build it?
Yeah.
I decide how we build it.
Mm-hmm.
Quality control. I'm fully in charge of quality control.
Yeah.
And I do customer service when it starts to get technical.
Of course. Okay. Quality control. You kind of said one thing to me the other day with the thing you're building for testing boards.
The dynamometer.
The dynamometer. Yeah. That was a pretty cool. It's different to see that, right? You see other companies, they claim all these different specs and everything along the lines that way, and you are building something to literally test. I'm assuming range, horsepower, everything.
Torque, RPM.
Like when I think of a dyno, I think of a dyno when I was driving my car into it.
It's gonna do what a car dyno does. Yeah.
And
it's built to, like, because we had like a kind of a dyno built before, but it was running. The load was a disc brake for a mountain bike, and we started melting the disc brake.
I can only imagine that. Yeah.
Yeah. So and then like twisting the frame. It was just like I put Rocinante and it instantly like broke.
Nice.
So we need. So it's like this one's using a pickup truck brake rotor, and like everything's machined out of steel and welded together. Like we have a machinist.
Nice.
Not on staff, but like down the street, and he's our buddy. So he's been doing it.
Good to have buddies like that. Definitely, that's definitely a. For production quality, for quality control, for literally testing everything, and even against don't know if you guess you would, but like competitors and stuff like that. And I'm just thinking even now, like being able to bring in other people from like DIY builders and being like, yo, you want to test your outs, the best, most powerful and stuff like that.
Yeah, we don't know exactly what the plan is with that yet, but we would like to make some content using the dyno.
Yeah, right. I mean, Carve, PDX, something like that. Bring people.
That'd be cool. Actually, you just gave me a great idea. Maybe we'll bring the dyno down to out of the shop to wherever Carve PDX up is. Everyone can put DIYs on it.
Yeah, I mean, be interested to see what you're comparing to. Like everyone's like, oh, my board's the fastest. It's got the most specs. Blah blah blah. Well, yeah, anyone putting me on a board versus someone that's 150 pounds on the board, they already have an advantage over me on the same board, right? Yeah. So being like straight numbers, it's the same thing as like, I guess people in cars and whatnot too. It's like there's always like my Volkswagen was like 300 horsepower, and then when you actually put it on the road, it's a totally different feel. And
it's a bigger difference because it's like there's only one other vehicle in which the rider weight is the same or like more than the vehicle, and that's not a PUV. It's like a motorcycle, and a motorcycle. I don't even know how much motorcycles weigh, but they must weigh more than the person riding it, right?
Yeah,
it's pretty close sometimes.
So typically, it's like 500-ish pounds or something like that for a motorcycle.
What popular vehicle has the rider weight like 2 or 3 times more than the vehicle weight?
Right.
So it's like a whole different dynamic.
No, I get that.
You really can't compare it. It's like you should really be like comparing like Eastgates per pound or something. I don't know what.
Right. Yeah. You don't know what the measure would be in that, but yeah, that's a good idea. Craig, what do you see there? Hoyt boy. Oh yes. Yeah. So Hoyt is going to be at Eastgate Con. They were there last year. And can they ride them?
Please.
Yeah.
We're going to have to be, everyone who wants to ride our boards will be able to ride our boards at Eastgate Con.
I think that's the best thing about Eastgate Con is that there's the 2 packages. So if you haven't signed up for Eastgate Con or you don't know what it's about, it's a convention out in Vegas. This is their 2nd year doing it. I will be attending along with Jackson with the Hoyt team there. There's a bunch of other people. I believe Craig is also going to be coming too. Come together. There's a whole race event from Saturday and Sunday for qualifiers on Saturday, finishing on Sunday. And I think during the week too. So if you can get there earlier, I know I'm going to try to get there earlier.
I'm going to try to get there earlier too. I just don't know when yet.
Yeah, that's the same thing on like Wednesday, Thursday. I think they're doing group rides at night. There's like a bunch of things going on that they're going to plan.
I might go on the Mike Beard's podcast.
Yes.
So it depends on
the Eastgate podcast. Nice. Yeah, they're great guys. I love those guys. Talk to them all the time. But yeah, so Eastgate Con, they will let you race on the racetrack there, even if you're not competing. So you can go ahead and take the Hoyt board, I believe, and they let you do demo rides on the actual track they're going to be having there. So, if you're just kind of want to get into the feel of like what a board feels like and get on the racetrack and gun it, you can kind of cruise around. So that's something I'm looking forward to, me personally. And I think I might be racing this year. I'm not sure. What do we got here?
Got some people saying they're going to be there.
Oh, Evan. Yeah, Evan's coming too. Nice.
Evan's going to be there. Eastgate Con last year was great. It was really good execution.
Nice.
I really recommend it. Some people are like, they think it's like a scam, but it's really not. Like,
no, I mean,
obviously things can be better, but the things that could have been better were like not even things I really expected anyway.
Right.
So
you said like the track was slippery and stuff like that.
The track was slippery, but I mean, like they rented out an entire go-kart track.
Yeah.
How expensive it is, and the insurance they got real insurance. Like this is all above board, so that's not cheap.
Yeah. No, I trust me. I get it. I
respect it. And they really put an effort. I mean, they put cornstarch on the track.
Yeah. The
cornstarch didn't last long, but I rode on the track with the cornstarch on Rocinante, and it was a thrill of life.
Yeah.
Because the Rocinante did not slip once.
Yeah. Yeah, that I still bring back to that race with you in the end there. Like that last second race, and you guys like were cutting across there. That was awesome. It was a fantastic time.
I mean, if I went over 30% throttle at any point in that track, Rocinante completely spun out at speed. Like I would be at 20 and just throttle would burn out in a straight line. Like
I think this year they're on an asphalt. I think it's a parking lot.
Yeah,
so it's a totally different feel. And I believe they're going to release the actual track shape and everything like that, so we can practice beforehand. So kind of like you can go to your local local asphalt area, right, and just try it out. So get a little practice in that sense. I did a little digging on your Instagram account. This is the creepiest poem of the time, but so you went to Rutgers. Were you in a fraternity? What was Phi Sigma, or was that like a fake fraternity, or what was that?
So Sigma Chi Iota is just the ski written in Greek letters.
Fair enough. Gotcha. I saw that because you were skiing. It was you and like 3 other mates or something like that were skiing or something.
Oh yeah, that post. I know what you're talking about. Yeah. So so Sigma Chi Iota was our joke name for the Rutgers ski and snowboard team. And junior year, it's a captain of the ski racing because it's ski freestyle, snowboard racing, snowboard freestyle. So I was the captain of the ski racing because I grew up ski racing, the downhill ski racing.
Really?
Yeah. And then I became president of the entire team my senior year. And then that was a year there was a snowstorm down here, like with 2 or 3 feet of snow.
What year?
2019, 2018.
Yes. Yeah, that was like the mega storm. That was like the crazy storm.
It's like there's no one out.
Yes.
So we got my Subaru, and my roommate drove it, and then we got a bunch of rope, and then we just like I got on all my ski stuff on, and he towed me around campus, and then I would just like pull up to my ski team friends' houses and be like, "Get your stuff on, and grab this rope," and then we had like a whole parade through
That's epic.
the college.
Yeah. That I grew up skiing. Little bit of skiing, switched to snowboard at a very young age because it felt more natural for me for surfing and skateboarding and stuff like that. But I grew up in Maine, and the same thing with me is that I loved it. I used to do downhill racing and stuff like that too.
Where'd you go? What mountain?
Sunday River and Sugarloaf was the further.
Okay,
yeah, Sugarloaf was a little further away, but Sunday River had the Gold Ski Academy, which one of my friends was on that, and he lived on the mountain for like months on end, and I would just go up there and visit with him and stuff like that.
I think I've been to Sugarloaf exactly one time.
Okay.
I just didn't get enough of an impression of it. It was a really foggy day.
Yeah,
so I got to see like the slope I was on, and then like the next slope I was on.
I think it's the I don't quote me, but I think it's the biggest mountain on the East Coast.
Really?
Skiable mountain on the East Coast. I could
like the mountain itself, not the resort.
Yeah, it's like a ski mountain on the East Coast.
My favorite East Coast resort is J Peak.
Okay, yeah.
Have you been to J Peak?
Yeah, yep. I've done everything. Killington.
That's as close to West Coast skiing as you can get here, I think.
Dude, that's untouchable. I was gonna say, like Colorado skiing and stuff like that. That above line tree skiing is totally different subject. Talk about that at a whole different pace of things. So okay, so it wasn't a fraternity. It was a joke, but that's fine because
it was a team, and it was the team was like the same size or bigger budget wise and member size than all the other frats on campus.
I completely imagine.
And
that.
we had our own house, like that wood, everything.
So I went to Fairleigh Dickinson University, and Fairleigh Dickinson University had I was in Phi Sigma Kappa, and there was a Phi Sigma Kappa at Rutgers. It got shut down the year.
It's one of those, yeah.
It got shut down the year I was. Our chapter was totally different. I always say the non-fraternity. I always say
was it the one that got someone died?
I don't believe someone died, but they got caught with hazing, like hardcore hazing, like drinking, like making them drink like insane amount of money.
Yeah, no, we didn't do that. Absolutely not.
And the same thing. Like I was like, why would you ever join something that someone looked at you in the face and said, like, I'm going to call you brother after you just made me puke all over myself. Like that's miserable. So when I joined the fraternity, I was actually skateboarding. One of the guys came up to me and was like, yo man, you're in fraternity. I'm like, absolutely not. I was like, I have no desire to join that whatsoever. He's like, well, I skateboard too. So then we hung out. And then after that, it kind of like, he's like, just remember one of the meetings. I was like, fine. And, it was, like I said, the non-fraternity fraternity, like, never got pushed into anything that way. We have any more comments here? Sorry. Completely forgot about
any chance of Hoyt selling the UK market? We do have a battery manufacturer in the UK, and we are working on some technical stuff, like boring legal stuff to sell in the UK, but we do have a battery maker lined up.
Okay.
And we have our special PCB battery system. So the way it works is when we start selling UK is you buy the board, we ship our board with no battery in it, but ship it to the battery manufacturer in the UK. I'm not sure I could say who it is yet, but you guys know who it is. You guys know them, and they're very high quality.
All right, fair enough.
They're in the UK. You can ask who it is. And they build the battery. They send us pictures. We do the visual inspection. We trust them. They're really good quality builders. And then they will ship. They'll do the final shipment. Or if you're close to them, you could go pick it up.
Okay. So hope that answers the question, Thomas. If you're looking to pick up a booger, I'm talking maybe behind closed seasons there. Xboard, what's up, dude? How are you doing?
What's up, Xavier?
Yeah. Mike Van Sickle. Oh, he's one of the guys I work with. Nice sign in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have no loyalty yet.
I don't know if anyone can see that. It says Portland, Maine is greater than Portland, Oregon. The joke was when the Hoyt UAV came out, and you guys asked me to do it, and I was like, Portland, Oregon. I'm from Portland, Maine. The first Greater Portland, right? And
Oregon named after Portland, Maine.
Right, I know.
It doesn't get more straightforward than that.
Of course. But it was just like the running joke, and the whole running joke was, long story short, there was a soccer player that lived in Portland, from Portland, Maine, played for the Seattle Sounders soccer team. The Sounders, just going to because she's the one that told me the story. And their whole entire promotion was like, whatever the guy's name was, from Portland, Maine, the first or the greatest Portland ever, or something like that. It was like they did all these like billboard signs, like that was their whole promotion thing. So it was like this whole running joke because Seattle, Portland, Oregon is whatever rivalry with each other. Oh yeah. And so she was like, I told him like, yeah, the board's from Portland, Oregon. And she was like, boo. And I was like, it's a really good board. They're a really nice company. I was like, I can't. So it's just a running joke. We grew up in Maine. That's kind of what it was. So Portland, Maine, greater than Portland, Oregon. we'll see. What's the other one? Can't believe. Oh, you didn't say mine. He can't believe. Xavier said he can't stop by. Say hi.
Oh man, it was a struggle to to borrow someone's car to get here.
I know. I can't believe. I really appreciate you coming through here. By the way, this is awesome. I'm glad. This is my first time doing a face-to-face interview. So if you guys like this, leave a thumbs up, a comment, and whatnot, and share this, after the fact too. But so all right. So sorry, a little dead air here. I know why Hoyt is special. Can you tell me why? Like, what makes your product like insanely different than other products out on the market? I should say. What's the secret herbs and spices that makes a Hoyt product like a Hoyt product? Like, I can't stress enough. Like, when I first did the UAV review, and I had people like private messaging me, I had people being like, "That's an insane price for what a 12S4P. I can get 2 Meepo Hurricane. Why would you buy something like that?" And I was like, you just have to understand, like, first off, it's a movable piece of art. Like, you look at this thing, it's a number one stop, like showstopper, in my opinion. Like, you pull up on something that's carbon fiber, that's, everyone else has per se. And then you have like the UAV, the bamboo enclosure, bamboo deck, like that whole mishmash. It's just something that's like movable piece of art. And then you actually ride this thing, and your motor, your battery, your everything about it is, in my opinion, like the most smoothest, buttery, smoothest board I've ever ridden. So when people are always like, why Hoyt over, LaCroix or something like that? Like, can you tell me what your thoughts apart on that?
Without trying to make a statement about another company,
right? Okay, let's not do that. Yeah.
I don't know, but
right.
Every single Zubom employee e-skates. Head engineer rides at over 40 miles an hour. I don't even ride as fast as him, and he is a full adult with 5 kids. Mm-hmm. So like, and our battery guy, he e-skates. Our customer service guy, he e-skates. The owner just recently stopped e-skating. He just broke his collarbone e-skating. So everyone rides. We all ride.
Yeah.
Like, that's the number one thing.
All right, that's it then.
I mean, every single decision has gone through the head of somebody who has ridden the board at speed, close to its limits. And whatever we don't know, we ask the professionals. So the UAV trucks were designed by we sponsored a downhill rider, like full on sponsor. He has his leathers are by us. We pay for he is our sponsored rider, and he's a downhiller. Doesn't even ride electric, and he helped us design our trucks. So the trucks are downhill trucks for Eastgate. The book we really pay a pro skater to ride the booger for 2 summers in a row, and break it and revision and break and revision and break. We have like 4 different revisions of the booger in pieces in the shop.
That's cool.
Because we're just like, can you smash this? Okay, you smack it, can you smash this? The final version is like, it was doing like 5 stair drops over and over. There's a part in Portland where it's like 5 stair drop, 5 stair drop.
Yeah.
And he didn't break it over and over and over for months, and it was like, I think this is ready.
I think it's your good production.
You saw it on the Braille YouTube channel.
I did see the Braille. Yeah. YouTube.
That guy is our pro rider.
Okay. Yeah.
So we just take it seriously. We do our research.
Yep.
And we ride it ourselves.
Yeah. I would love to try a booger. We just opened.
We're sending one down here soon.
Oh, sick.
Yeah. Maybe to you or to Jeffrey or whatever. But
perfect. Yeah, that'd be great. Because that pump track just opened up by me. So like, I have the like Clover Bowl. We have the pump track, everything like that. So I've been riding a few of like the shorter mini boards that I have, like the Wave and a couple other boards that have come my way. And yeah, I bring that to the skate park. And the other days I was riding it, doing the pump track, came back out, and the guy's like, "Is that electric?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Can I try it?" I was like, "Yeah, man, go for it." So he's going through, he's like whipping through the thing, comes back and goes, I like used to make fun of this thing all the time. He goes, "I saw you like whipping around." He goes, "How is that guy hitting the bank so high and then like coming out like breaking? Like I see, like he's like, I saw you at something." He's like, "And you were slowing down before you got to the pump." I was like, "Yeah, you have full control." I was like, meanwhile, I'm like still pumping and getting like all my moves that I wanted there, but he was like blown away by it. So I think the booger would probably be, kick ass, at least at that park. A lot of people would appreciate that. Yeah, I think you guys, I think you nailed it. I think the fact that you are all people that skate, we're all in the industry, that you reached out to someone, you're like, "Hey, we don't know how to necessarily make a truck, but that guy knows how to go 55 miles an hour down a hill on a regular skateboard. So let's ask him, what do you think?" And I think that's honestly, I think that's the extra, secret salt, if you will, to the recipe of. And I always stress, whenever someone hops on it, and I brought it to a couple different, friends, group rides, stuff like that. People are like, "This thing is like, how do you like, how do I go back to my board? Like, I'm going to hop on my, production, board with a 12S2P in it. Like, this not fun at all." I was like, well, it's available. So yeah, I commend you guys. I think that's one of the, one of the best boards, full stop, that I've enjoyed riding there. Sorry, Thomas, Just want to say, make some of the most beautiful boards in the community. Much respect, and my only chance for
Choice for
remote. The Hoyt Puck, yeah. So Thomas, like I said, Thomas rides everything. He has the Cali XLR. He has the Lone Star. Correct me if I'm wrong. The Lone Star Super Sport. He has, I think, took the Meepo gear system that just came out, and he put it on his Evolve Hadian.
I mean, they all use the same rear hanger, so it's like a standard almost.
But it was just really funny to see that. So he's got a great YouTube channel. If you guys haven't checked it out, he's a fantastic YouTuber. That's the.
How do you find selling a super boutique board in the niche market? Well, you know, the 12S4P version of the UAV was the one that's been developed, and because of all this research we do and the research and development we do, it takes a long time for us to design a board, especially when designing trucks from scratch, wheels from scratch, a deck from scratch, an enclosure from scratch, a battery, like everything from scratch. By the time the UAV was ready, 12S4P was not as remarkable as it was when the design first started.
Okay.
But luckily, we made the design expandable on purpose, so now we have a 16S 9P option at a very competitive price. We have a 16S 6P version coming out soon. It's going to be at a competitive price for that range.
Is that new information?
That is pretty new, yeah.
Yeah, that's new information. 16S.
Yeah, I mean, Dad is a smaller belly.
Yeah. So we have the Dad Bod here. Yesterday, you were in New York City doing a demo ride for everyone, right? So I actually have a few clips brought up here that I if you don't mind, I'll show a few of them on here. Yeah, that sound good? It's my first screen sharing, so please don't yell at me. What is this one? I will do that.
3, 2, 1, go! Oh, this is with the 12S UAV, not the Dad Bod. But that board in second place, I think, is the Ace. And you see that guy kick pushing in the white pants?
Yeah, that's Daniel Lindsay.
Yeah, the guy who won the Broadway Bomb on a push board. He's such a nice guy. I got to talk to him after.
So he actually, I was skateboarding with him the other day at that pump track. So I met up with him.
He lives here?
He lives here, over in Red Bank.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, so he was over in Red Bank. I met up with him and my other friend Garrett. They texted me, he's like, yo, we're at the skate park, come over. And like I said, it's not even 10 minutes from my house. So I was like, yeah. And they both were like, can you bring the electric shortboards? And I was like, yeah, I'll bring the electric shortboards. So that was my first time meeting him in person. Actually, sorry, second time meeting him in person. And, you know, he's just a really nice guy. You're 100%, right? He's just like a super down-to-earth guy. And the fact that like right then and there, so he posted a video, I don't have it, but he posted a video today of him from his perspective because he had the his GoPro of that.
I didn't see it.
You got to see it.
I gotta watch that.
But it's like he starts kicking, and then all of a sudden you see G. He's neck and neck with G.
G just got his UAV upgraded, so he wasn't used to it yet. So he didn't full throttle it. Yeah. But still, that guy was freaking fast.
So it's like you see it like neck and neck, and all of a sudden it's G, the Ace, I think. King. Yeah, and then and Jeffrey was already gone at that point. So yeah, that was pretty funny watching that perspective. I was like, when you posted this video, I was like, holy crap! I was like, this kid's insanely fast. I mean, you watch his Broadway Bomb stuff; it's nuts to watch him like go faster than people running at full speed. So here is another one.
I think this one is with versus a DIY that was like geared specifically for torque.
Are you guys seeing that when I post that? Is that working for you guys or no?
Yeah.
Someone give me a thumbs up or a yes in the comments if that video went through properly. I'm gonna drink non-alcoholic beverage. I don't know if there's a delay.
2, 1, go!
That is Evan.
Yeah, Evan's board is really.
Evan, what that 6? What's that? The 16S.
16S 3P with a 6-point-something-to-1 gear ratio. So it's just like I think it's geared to 36 miles an hour, 38. Yeah. The Dadbod's geared to 44.
Yeah.
So I think if they kept going, it would be like pretty close. But it was fast. He has bindings and his board is regular, so I could not try it.
Oh no!
So upset because I really wanted to try it.
So I tried it. So when was that? Was that Carve? No.
It wasn't ready at Carve. It just
no. Yeah. Oh, Atlas. It was the X-Way, the tie held, so the Atlas Pro and the Flex Pro. And he brought it, and I was like, dude, can I try that? And he's like, yeah. He's like, just be careful. I'm gonna put on speed mode like 1 for you. He's like, I was like, oh, okay. And I like rip it, and I was like, damn, that's got a lot of power. He's like, all right, let me give you top speed. I told him, I was like, the front wheel came off the ground essentially. Like I was like, thank God the binding was there because I literally the front wheel was like, see, I was like, no, it's okay. And I'm 220 pounds, so like that's just nuts to me. So no, good job to that end. You did a great job in that sense. So yeah, that was really funny to watch that video. And this is the last one.
2, 1, go!
that is
Okay, so we got Evan on the left, we got Jeffrey on the Dad Bod, and then to the left of Jeffrey is another DIY. It's the spare exactly the same as Heath Lewis's 20S board.
oh, so that's AJ's, right? AJ's board.
AJ's, what they call it, a Hyperflux or something.
I don't know. Yeah,
I think because it has Hypertrucks and the Flux deck, and it has a 20S board built by Mario Contino with the bio boards. See, and that thing is a beast. It's just that it picks up at 20. It doesn't pick up at 0.
Yeah.
So I rode the board. Once I got to 20, it was like, dude, what the fuck?
Next snapping speed.
Oh my god.
Yes, AJ's come on I think almost all of my group rides I've hosted with his girlfriend Amanda, and they brought his other boards. So he's got a Hummer. He's got another Flex, I think, a Flux as well.
Yeah, Amanda was riding that.
Yeah,
those two are really cool. Those are the kind of people that make me sad that I left New York, because they're right there in Edgewater.
Yeah.
And he's like,
they're incredibly knowledgeable. A lot
of fun riding together.
Incredibly knowledgeable, and he comes down all the time, and he's always super chill. Like, he comes to group rides. He's like, "Yo, check out this board." I'm like, "All right, cool." This is before I like really started. I never jumped on like a LaCroix. I never jumped on like anything above like a 12S4P. And he's like, "Yo, check out this board." I jump on Hummer with like top speed is like 40. I think Amanda was like, "Oh, I hit 44 miles an hour today." I'm like, "What?" I was like, "What do you mean you hit 44 on this thing?" So I'm like ripping around the parking lot. I came back, and I was like, "Yeah, this is dangerous." Now I'm like, okay, how do I build one? I'm like, now I'm hooked. Now I'm ready to build my my DIY, which we were talking. Hopefully we can get something together in that sense too. All right, so that's the last of those videos, but I have other questions here.
Oh, Evan says Jeffrey did beat me. He caught me.
Oh, he did catch up to you at the end.
Still, man, your board launches like a rocket, dude.
Yeah, that thing is literally, like I said, I think on that day with the Atlas Pro is the 4-wheel drive with the aux pack on it, so I added extra weight anyways, and I was hitting like 31, 32 miles an hour on that thing, and I was like, damn, this is like super quick. And then I got on Evan's board, and I was like, I'm gonna fall off this thing. It's gonna push me backwards. Like it was a lot of fun that day. So cheers to you, Evan, for that. All right, so what is your like most epic trip, group ride, racing event? Like, what's your PEV like story? Like, what's your most favorite story? Did you ever go to like one of the Cali rides, something like that? Eastgate Con, like a highlight for you?
I gotta say it's Carve PDX1, the first Carve PDX.
Okay.
I think you have the clip still full screen though. You might want to.
Whoops, my bad.
See your ugly faces bigger.
No, yeah, see us bigger. Is that better, guys?
So yeah, the first Carve PDX was just like eyes wide open the whole time. Like, not like Carve PDX2 was worse. It's just that I had to help run Carve PDX2, so it just changes your perspective.
It's totally. Yeah.
When you're just one of the people there, I was just like, Portland's beautiful.
Was that your first time to Portland? So that was like...
That's like my first on the West Coast, not outside the airport.
Were you working for Hoyt at that point or no?
So that's how I got the job.
Oh, okay. So you're like, I'm going to go out to Carve PDX and then I'm going to work for the company directly afterwards.
No, I did, yeah. I went to Carve PDX, just eyes wide open the whole time, blown away by the beauty and how it's like the riding culture there is so much different and like more relaxed and just more interesting. Because New York is like big grid, stress, left turn, stress, right turn, stress. But Portland's just like
mountainous views.
Oh my God, I can show you so many cool pictures.
Yeah.
And I just was really excited, and just the whole trip went awesome. It was a DIY event, so obviously lots of broken boards.
Yep.
Part of the trip being so awesome was that my board broke 0 times.
Nice.
And
you had to ship that out there? You had to ship that whole thing out there?
I built a whole board custom for the first Carve PDX that had a modular battery system.
Oh, no way.
That you could take the batteries out and then they go through TSA, no problem.
Oh,
yeah. So the board went through TSA like butter.
Wait, what's like, isn't it 99 watt hours per battery? So
yeah. So I just made a bunch of sections. Yeah. and the board was like super thin. Like, honestly, the first day I got there, people thought my board was a Hoyt board.
Yeah.
And I think that caught JJ's attention. And then like a couple weeks after I got back from Carve PDX, he was like messaging me like, "You want to move to Portland?" Like and I thought he was joking, so whatever. And then he started getting more serious in his messages. I'm like, "Okay, well, let's talk."
Yeah.
And then he offered
was that right out of college too?
I was a year out of college already, or maybe a year and a half.
Okay.
I was just doing like IT and administration.
I was gonna say, what were you doing beforehand? All right.
Yeah, just IT administration.
Okay.
I would like the second the clock hit 5, I would run home building boards and like ride and just do whatever.
Trust me, I'm on that. I have the the 9 to 5, then I have the 5 to 9 that I'm like trying to flip that. So it's 24 hours a day, 365. Yeah, so that's epic. So you went out there for the first Carve PDX, and I totally understand that. I host group rides, and the level of stress or completely different perspective of being as an event coordinator versus like, I'm just going to be the kind of person that's going to be in the back and just enjoy, hang out, drink and whatever. It's two totally different aspects in that sense. I completely understand that. So, all right, that's yeah, I would love to. And Carve PDX is happening at some point this summer.
I'm organizing again. Yeah,
Okay.
me, basically Hoyt, Zubom and Derek Robot Industries are
Okay.
co-sponsoring the whole thing.
Okay, so Zubom is the umbrella for Duck, Hoyt, Metro. In case someone knew that, so I know that.
Oh yeah, that's new.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Duck Battery Systems, Metroboard, and Hoyt are under the umbrella of Zubom, which recognize our wheels. The reason why the wheels were first is because we needed some proprietary wheels. We wanted to do some things different that wasn't available out there, and we were like, well, these wheels could be on either brand, and we just made a neutral brand. And this brand name Zubom is named after a hill. Well, basically in Portland, there's like Portland's by the river, and then there's like a hill, a mountain, I don't know what you want to call it, and at the top is the Oregon Zoo. And then so a tradition in Portland is people on regular skateboards and like bicycles go down this crazy wild hill, and it's called the Zoo Bomb. Zoo Bomb Hill.
I love
Zoo
it.
Hill.
Yeah,
that's
really cool. I didn't. So yeah, that's a fantastic story there. Sorry guys, we're just reading this as we go through. That was
a lot of comments, dude. We like behind.
AJ, he's saying so. Evan's here, so AJ, of course, AJ, and you're very welcome. You have insanely awesome stuff.
To say it's great seeing legend.
SoCal legend Joe,
yeah, Joe's such a nice guy.
Yep, yeah, they make letting go. You're right. He's a fantastic addition to the team. I would 100% agree with you on that one. Hoyt Booger, gorgeous mini. This is Benny from UK. This is the masked legend. If you don't, do you know Benny? E-boarder.
Oh, you know what name sound familiar?
Yeah, he's all over Instagram there. He's a great mate. Great choice having a wedge, super low angular rear truck. So yeah, talking about the Booger just had insane.
We love our split angles at Hoyt. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. I like I said, I'm super. For me, yeah, of course, having Dad Bod, this awesome, like fast, everything like that. It's something about bringing you back to the roots and getting on like a smaller board and like being like, for me growing up shortboarding, like that's like what I think I relate more to those mini boards than I do to like the bigger. Again, like we're talking about like with even the Carve, the massive thing over there. It's just like one of those things where, yeah, I grew up skateboarding. So urethanes for me, street wheels, like small, little, tiny street wheels on boards and stuff like that. Cheerio wheels, like that is kind of what I related to. So me getting into Eastgate, especially, and these like HE tires and like the whole different complexity of that. It's great to be able to test your very well tested wheels and stuff like that against other companies that are out there too. So it makes a total difference in bouncing and everything goes on that way too. So
you don't see lots of RKP on my end.
No.
We love RKP.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the downhill truck of choice. So.
Yeah, it's incredibly stable at high speeds, and it still has your board at low speeds and high speeds, stability at high speeds, Carve at low speeds with the custom rib tires and stuff like that there too. I definitely agree with you on that one, Benny. He said he wants to see me on the booger.
Yeah, we're gonna get one down here.
Benny, see me. Sorry, I know these guys are talking also as well too. We're just trying to catch up and see if there's any comments here. I was just saying. All right, cool. All right, let's get back to a question here. What is your worst fall? Rather like,
is this a wooden table? Because
it's not.
Knock on wood. I have not really had a major fall.
Okay.
Like I sprained my ankle twice pretty bad.
Okay.
And
worst fall, how about not even in Eastgate then? Like, did you ever have?
What do I have a story for you then?
Yeah.
Downhill racing.
All right, let's hear it.
I was on my way to practice, and there was a trail that was supposed to be closed, but it wasn't. And I'm not sure anyone who skis will know that, like, they're blowing snow, they leave them in really big piles, and then they smooth it over. Yep. And it was a blind turn. I'm going way too fast, because of course I am. And I go into a field of these things. And I dodge, eventually run out of luck, hit one, go into the air, like really high up in the air. And on my way down, I hit a snow gun. I was hellevac'd out.
No.
I fractured my top 5 vertebrae on my spine. I fractured my skull, major concussion, brain hemorrhaging.
Oh my shit, dude.
And fractured my left scapula.
What?
Yeah.
And you're alive walking today.
Memory, I don't know, but
knock on wood. Yeah. knock on the whiteboard.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's insane. Wow.
Yeah, I came very close to dying.
Yeah, dude.
That was my first helicopter ride too. So
not the best time to do that.
Yeah.
I've yet to be in a helicopter. Sadly enough, because I used to, like I said, would ski and snowboard all the time. I saw someone way on a mountain thing, literally no helmet on. I'm sorry,
My helmet saved my life.
So he had a helmet all day long. His
I
friends
had
are
a
making
FIS
fun of him?
certified helmet, like racing certified like that. If I didn't have, the doctor said if I had any less of a helmet, because it was in Albany, the hospital they flew me to Albany, so they see lots of skiing. It was like if you were wearing a specific helmet,
we wouldn't be talking to you.
Yeah,
It was a sad day. This kid was wearing a helmet. Kids made fun of him, or his friends made fun of him, or whatever it was. Went down, hit a patch of ice, or caught his edge wrong, right down, hit his head, went to like cardiac arrest and seizure right there. So yeah, that's not to sad there, but that's an insane story, man. So like literally broke your back, everything like that. Or you are walking, riding these skates, safer. Knock wood. I don't know if it's safer, but maybe not in New York. I love you guys in New York, but that's insane.
I actually like lost a little bit of my ability to skate in New York after moving to Portland.
I mean, when you have wide open roads, like it's the same thing down here. Like I always tell people, I'm like, down here, you'll have to come to one if you ever come back on the summertime. But it's literally wide open roads, super smooth, little like the smallest hill line to go over a bridge from Belmar into or from Spring Lake or Belmar to Spring Lake, and it's just like it's incredible. We got the sunrise, the sunset over there. You got the ocean over here. We stop, hang out, whatever. And but it's just like it's not busy. There's cars for the most part. There's no real cars. And if we have enough people, we take over the road as it is anyway. So, but like riding New York City, like riding with the guys in New York City, my first time out there, I was like, I could turn coal into diamond in my ass because I was so tight the entire time. It was just like it's a horrifying experience. But at the same time, almost like a metal. Like you kind of have to like if you are anyone that you want to go and try in New York City, it's definitely a place to ride.
You gotta do it at least once.
Yeah, Central Park, absolutely incredible loop. I mean, it's it's great to do that, and then going through Times Square at night, probably the most like religious experience ever. Like just being able to ride through there. It's gridlock traffic, so it's not you're like
so you're going through a parking lot, but all the cars are slowly rolling.
Roll forward
like
exactly
walking speed.
Yeah, that was probably the best.
I tell people that to come. I'm like, don't imagine it as like you're flying between cars. Just imagine you're skating through a parking lot.
Yeah, literally, it's essentially what it is because there's always traffic everywhere. But yeah, that's definitely an insane story about the crash there. If you could build your favorite PEV, which I think you probably have, but like if other than Eastgate, would you ride anything else? Like what's your if you could build a PEV, just bike, scooter, skateboard?
I always wanted to build like an electric snowmobile that's an Eastgate.
Okay.
So like I want to turn like an Eastgate. I want to brake and accelerate like an Eastgate, but I want to ride it on the snow like a snowmobile that you stand on.
Okay.
I want to build that.
I think you should.
I think I'm already getting paid to design it.
Fair enough.
Probably will not be for sale, but cool.
But at least a one-off prototype would be fun to be messing around in. Yeah, that's insane. I know I took my board out in snow, it was compact snow, but I took it out there and I was just sliding all over the place. But yeah, that would be really fun to be able to. I mean, around here, especially like wintertime happens, you get like 3 months of kind of cold, snowy weather, especially. But places like Maine, I don't know, Portland, Oregon, really more weather. Okay. It's kind of it's like Seattle. It's like the mountain gets snow, and that's about it.
It doesn't even get below freezing ever in Portland, Oregon. It's like kind of. But I have ridden Eastgates in the snow. I had the big fat Cali tires, and then the trample wheels, and I like roped literally the spokes around the tire, and I was able to go uphill in the snow. That was during a different snowstorm. Maybe like 2020 or something like that. Okay. And I was able to like commute to and from work, and there was like you couldn't see pavement. It was just compact snow on the ground. Like that's how bad it was. It didn't even bother. Yeah. And I was just riding the snow on my board. That's insane. Just by putting ropes through the spokes. Yeah. Not even, it's like chains. Right, chains. Like exactly like throwing chains on a car there. I see Jeffrey jumped in here. What's up, Jeff? How we doing, brother? Oh yeah, wow, that's a lot of comments. Been following Hoyt for a long time. First Hoyt I saw footage was the Redmond that Derbies. Person's that right? Yeah, Chris is awesome. Nicest guy in Eastgate. Seriously, such a cool dude. Okay, I don't recall that one. I didn't see that one, so I got to check that one out. It's an old video. Okay, but yeah, it was a thing in Seattle. Was that on the EL? EL1. EL1. Okay, yeah, like our first board. Yeah. All right. Cool. Yeah. So I started when I first started researching Hoyt, I saw the EL series, and like it was literally like travel friendly, air friendly batteries. I was like, what? I was like, no, I was like, I think like the whole the V was the first board you guys put out. Then I realized like you had this whole entire background of all these other boards. And it's been around for a while. Yeah, it's great to see that. Metroboard even longer. Metroboard's around since 2006. Yeah, like before Boosted. Yep, all of it. But I'm excited. I've never tried a Metroboard. I've never even seen one in real life. To be it's really excited to do that. And at Eastgate Con, I'm really pumped to kind of get on the track there and get one of those. Bringing all the toys. Yeah, looking forward to that.
what do we say? Don't worry, Jackson. I'm crazy enough to test that for you.
Yeah, I'm getting too old. Jeffrey's the new guinea pig.
Yeah.
Jeffrey's ambassador. It's
Okay.
just the
paperwork.
The paperwork isn't done yet because we want part of being an ambassador is doing events, and it's frigid.
Yeah.
So when he could do events is when it's going to be all official. But Jeffrey's an ambassador.
Congratulations, Jeffrey. Welcome to the Hoyt.
He's our official racer.
So if you guys haven't seen Jeffrey at Apple Valley Speedway, we're on first place on the Dad Bod
in the sportsman division.
Which
is the second highest.
Yeah.
So like because the pro division was only Stooge riders.
Yeah, of course.
And Morgan Brady.
Yeah. There was. Yes, I've never ridden a Stooge board, but I see those guys running around those track. Those are like F1.
You know how like people would first get on like a really high end motorcycle, and the first thing they do is and they just That's what a Stooge board is. Yeah. It's just not even like
it's not a pleasurable.
It will startle the highest end DIY riders.
Yeah, I want to try one. But yes, congratulations to Jeffrey. If you haven't, check him out online there as well too. I also have. Sorry, probably should put some of these banners up here too. Where are you? There we go.
Oh, yeah, cool.
I'm failing at my job as being a multitasker here. Normally, I'm looking at the screen so I can click on these things as I'm doing them. So I'm sorry for anyone who hasn't been able to do there. Who is Hoyt's? The Queen is asking who is Hoyt's biggest competitor.
Biggest as in, like who has the most similar customers to us.
I'm imagining
that, right?
I would say it's like
it's got to be Cali and LaCroix.
Yeah,
is what I would say. I mean, similar size batteries, similar size ranges, and price points. I got to say those are the two competitors I think of right off the bat. Same people.
But the thing is, I think like you guys, the three different companies are three different experiences. Like riding on a Cali XLR is like riding on a Cadillac, like it's the size of a Cadillac. It's massive. This is massive board.
Nice board. Yeah.
It's just huge. It's just wide and it's just a huge board. I've ridden the Lone Star Super Sport with the Falcon gear drive as well too, and that's the same thing. It's like this, insanely fast board, but it's just this massive wide heavy board. And then I ride like the Udemy. I feel like it just fits. Actually, it's big. It's a very big board. Don't get me wrong. Like it's not a small board by any stretch of the means. But when you look at it, when you pick it up, or when you feel it, it doesn't feel as heavy or as cumbersome or as whatnot than you would on those other boards. That board to me, it looks like a really good custom bamboo board. I keep pointing to a board that's off camera here. Maybe I'll pull it on. We're gonna pull a board up here in a second. But my cardboard. It's like I always imagine it like that. So yeah, I mean that's probably. I hope that answers your question there, Quinn. That it's a Cali and Lone Star. I'm sorry, Cali.
Yeah, we just look at the numbers. They're probably
spec for spec, and all that stuff. I would say that those are the two there.
Yeah, but if we were similar enough, we'd make something else.
Well, coming in the future, there's going to be other boards coming out.
Yeah,
right?
We got boards coming out for Eastgate Con. Trying to keep some details from being spoilers, but I think it's gonna give a lot of people what they've been asking for.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, it's gonna be a really good time for Eastgate Con, and that's a great time to unveil boards like that. I think one of the podcasts from Mike and James and the Eastgate, I can't think of the name of the Eastgate podcast that they're doing, M Board Company.
Oh yeah. Okay.
He's like, it's almost like when you go to CES, when you go to Vegas for CES, the people unveil brand new tech, brand new products and stuff like that, and people get to test out. I'm like, why can't Eastgate Con be that where it's now a highlight point for companies to come out and be like, this is what we're releasing this year. It's perfect time. It's March. It's right before summer. It's people have that that winter money saved up per se, and they haven't haven't ridden all that time. So it's like come to Cali or come to Vegas, test out the board, see it, have everyone ride on the track, see what everything like that, and then go ahead and buy it, and production will be done or whatever it may be at that point, and push it out that way.
I can't think of a better place to release a board.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a fantastic thing. So what do you see as the future as far as the PEV world? What is your future for PEV?
So short term, I'd say Volt is where everything's going.
Okay.
Oh, I should have brought it up, but the Dadbod charger
yes.
is the UAV charger is 12S at 8 amps, which if you do 12S is 50 volts, 8 amps is 8 amps. So 50 times 8, what's that 400 watts?
Yes.
So the Dadbod is 67 volts and it's 10 amps. But the charger is significantly smaller than I showed you downstairs.
Yeah, you showed me downstairs.
We should have brought it up, but whatever. It's so much. It's the charger's this big.
Yeah.
It's super tiny.
Comparison wise to the original one, it is almost like kind of like a shoebox.
Way smaller.
Yeah, small, but then this one was even smaller than that, which was that much more impressive. I thought my son was coming up the stairs. He looked behind me.
So yeah, high voltage lets you just get more power in a smaller size with less heat.
Okay.
Because I mean, what's pushing you on the board is watts.
Mhm.
And the equation for watts, voltage times amps. And what causes heat? Amps. Volts don't cause heat. So if you pump up the volts, you can lower the amps, and everything gets smaller. Everything gets more compact. The only issue is, you know, high voltage has to spin the motor faster, and to get a gear ratio reduction down without belt slipping or whatever, it's hard. I mean, we got a good system with the UAV. The belts don't slip. Like, we had Mario Chacon, the one of the best riders for the Mo Stooge team. He could not get the belts to skip when we went down.
I think I was video post right on the day. He was going to the garage, and he's like, I can't get the belt slips. Yeah.
But you know, that's a 4.8 to 1 gear reduction.
Okay.
We want to go up to 5.5.
Okay.
And so we're going to go to gear drives for that.
Yeah.
So we're going with belts until belts are no longer good enough, and then we're going to gear drive. And we waited until the 3rd generation of all steel gear drives from the DIY community to be done. And we think this iteration, that I'm not going to say who it is yet, but once we go to this, guys, it's going to be like game changing. All steel, yeah.
All right. Yeah, I agree. I mean, for me, the belt drive system, I love it. I think it's my favorite because we were talking about it before off camera, being able to swap wheels and stuff like that. When it gets to your higher voltage systems, when you are doing a performance-based system, like, yeah, you understand, like, okay, we only have, there's limitation to this, and we go to it, and there's gearing ratio and stuff like that, being able to jump up to those gear drives. And gear drive seems to be like, I don't want to say like the flavor of now, but it seems like a lot of companies like are starting to push that way towards that gear drive system. So
yeah, you sacrifice some stuff when you go to gear drives. So in mine, you better gain more than you sacrifice, or it's not worth going to gear drives.
Right, makes sense. No, I agree, 100%. What else we got here? You guys just having a chat there? Is there anyone questions here? Jeffrey,
Going back and forth, huh?
Okay, I think Hoyt's unique market for sure. Drew, you're doing a great job. Give yourself a hard time. Oh, there's Lewis. Lewis is in there. Actually, I think Lewis is the one that had the La Croix that I tried.
Oh yeah, the Super Sport. Nice. Oh, I know. Wait, I know Lewis. Yeah. I recognize that screen. What's it called? Profile picture.
Yeah. UAV was unveiled. Was it unveiled at Eastgate Con? UAV?
That's the first we showed it to like a big audience. I mean, we unveiled it online, but yeah. Oh, look, it's Heath.
What's up, Heath?
What's up, man?
We were talking about your board before.
Yeah, it's cool seeing you at ABS, man.
Yeah, we're. Are you gonna be at Eastgate Con? I think he is.
I think he is. Yeah, why not?
You should. If you're not, get out there. We talk online all the time. But yeah, he's a great guy. His 65-mile-an-hour crash. A couple months ago, right, Heath? You fell at 65 miles an hour, and I messaged him. I was like, obviously he was fine, but I messaged him the next day. I was like, dude, you have to be. Are you okay? And he's like, yeah, I'm fine. Like, thank God I have all my gear on, stuff like that. But yeah, he got some serious road.
I'm riding before.
It's just like 65 miles an hour. That's nuts. Like I used to ride motorcycles, so I've always ridden motorcycles. I had dirt bikes growing up, stuff like that. And my friend had a Ducati Monster 949. And came to work one day, and I like sport bikes. It just wasn't for me. I was more of like a cruiser. I had like a chopped up 67 XJ 650, and he was like, "Get on this bike." I was like, "Dude, I don't want it." I was like, "I don't want it." He's like, "Get on the bike." He's like, "I'll take yours." He's like, "Let's go out." And he's like, "If I beat you to home," he's like, "I'll let you lay down." I'm like, "All right, fine." And I gunned this thing, and it's like third gear, and I was over 120 miles an hour on a motorcycle. Like, it was just mind-blowingly fast, and it's still pulling. Like, I was like, I couldn't do that. So God bless you, Heath.
Yeah.
Crash was that what? I'm sorry, 46 crash. Terrifying.
See, that's the thing. I don't want to go over 40 anymore. I'm more of a torque guy, honestly. I'd rather do burnouts.
I'm more of a range guy. Like, for me,
I've already achieved the range I want. So
yeah, I mean, for your board, but you're right. Yeah, like but 100%. People ask me like, "Oh, what's the best?" I'm like, range. I was like, I'm a big guy, so for me, like, range and speed, like, I would love, like, what Hoyt has achieved, like that 37 miles is like that's crucial. And I don't hit 30. I don't want to hold 37 the entire time. Like, I want to be able to goof around 25, 30, but I also want to be able to, like, if I need to hit it and gun it and get out of the way of something, then speed is like the headroom, right? You want that headroom to be able to get out of danger or away from something if need be. And I think that you guys achieved in that sense. I don't believe this would suit Hoyt. You got a 4-wheel drive system.
The Dad Bod is designed with that upgrade in mind.
Oh, really?
There is room inside, and there are design choices made on the inside of the board to specifically to facilitate four-wheel drive.
Does it still use a Stormcore 60D? Or is
Dad, all of our high voltage stuff will. I can't comment. We haven't decided yet. We're still testing. The dyno is part of that.
Do you want to pull the Dad Bod up here?
Yeah. See if I could not break my legs.
Yeah. Let's not do that. All right. So we have the Dad Bod here, and we also have the UAV. So in term test Hoyt, so I am not a Hoyt ambassador per se. We had a question about it, but I think it's better suited for me and the review stuff and like that to be able to be a partner for Hoyt and be able to have a great partnership with you guys and love the Hoyt family and I represent you guys wholeheartedly. But yes, so as you can see here,
you might want to move my Instagram so they can see the belly.
Now you're asking me to do things, Jesus. All right, there we go. So from the top, even this is from the top. It's the same deck. I didn't realize this. I thought it was actually bigger than what the UAV is. The same top deck as the UAV. It's literally the belly underneath here is just that Dad Bod belly.
There's a reason why we say top deck because people are like, what, deck and enclosure? Like, no.
Yeah.
The deck and enclosure of this really make one part because if you were to stand on the top deck without the enclosure attached for an actual ride, it would snap.
Yeah.
And so you can't get an enclosure on its own. So they are structural elements. Mm-hmm. That's why the enclosure, we call the bottom deck, goes and it's actually sandwiched between the truck and the top deck. So they create this structural sandwich.
You're talking about this part right there.
Yeah. And in between, there's a layer of really expensive pour-on foam. And then so it's like a 3-layer sandwich. Mm-hmm. And that's what's dampening all the vibrations and eating all the high frequency stuff that you run into while you're riding.
So that's like the one thing people always ask me, like, is the it flexes this bamboo? And I tell them, I'm like, no, it's literally got these almost the same rigidity as you would on a carbon fiber decks, but there's like you're saying, there's the dampening is like it eats up the road.
Well, I'll tell you how it works. So basically, the board is made for cruising at high speed for a significantly long period of time. Yep. So like you want to get somewhere, you're gonna go 30 the whole time and just stay at 30 or more. So you don't want a flexible standing platform because then your foot position changes according to what you're hitting. So you want a standing platform that stays the same, but you still want flexibility. So this board does flex, but it flexes at the tip and tail only. Mm-hmm. The standing platform stays perfectly rigid. Yeah. So it does flex for impacts, but it does not flex if you're just carving around like that, like bounce. Like I grew up admiring Callies because being from New York City. Yep. I've ridden so many. Like I love the bounce, like the liveliness. Yeah. But I wouldn't want to go on a 50-mile ride at high speed the whole time. The whole time I'd be like, I'd rather be carving. Yeah. This board is just like, you forget how fast you're going.
Yeah. No, I 100% attest to that. Comparison-wise to anyone that rides production style boards, or just a fast board in general, that 25 mile an hour on a production board that you're like, oh wow, I'm going so fast is what 30 feels like this. Like it's that comfortability that you're on. Like you're like, I don't realize how fast I'm going, but it's just that quick and that comfortable to be able to go that fast and not even realize it. Like when I do my speed runs, stuff like that, I go by a speed radar and all of a sudden like 38 miles an hour. I'm like, that doesn't feel like 38. But then like I realize I'm blowing by cars that are like that are trying to pass me, and they look at me, they're like trying to gun it. I'm just like flooring, and I'm like, oh, you're not gonna keep up with me on this road. No. It's like a 30 mile an hour road or 25 mile an hour road that I'm still whipping through. So you can see that I don't know if I can get that angle there. It's just that much beefier.
You want to
grab the other?
You can grab it with one hand because.
So.
No, I can't. I'm not that strong.
The Dad Bod versus the UAV.
There you go.
So that is your side-by-side comparison. So this is the 16S, right?
Yeah, 16S 9P.
9P, yeah.
There's a 12S 4P, and then
insane difference. So weight-wise, yeah. Thank God I went to the gym. No. It's just I haven't ridden it yet. That's the one thing I can't comment anything I've seen. Videos, obviously, is this the board that Jeffrey rode at AVS?
That is the AVS board.
So this is the board that won at AVS. So
on stock settings. We made sure that it was 100% as you will buy it when it was at AVS. Okay. We were like, what's the point of a win on a production board? It's not going to be actually production.
Right, of course, yeah. So that just showcases that if you wanted to be able to get on a board that's able to hit, I think it was like 43 miles per hour at that point.
This is geared for 44.
Okay.
The straightaway that Jeffrey hit 43.5 at was a slight uphill. The board was fully charged, so we're happy with that estimate of top speed.
Not a bad top speed, you know, in that sense.
Yeah,
But,
and the other option, you could get a 56 mile per hour gearing on this also. You'll lose a ton of torque, but you'll gain it back at over 30.
do any of you want to go 56 miles an hour on a skateboard right now?
I'm reason, yeah.
Yes. I'd say Jeffrey is a different breed.
He scares me, man.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what's scarier, riding boards fast myself or building a board and seeing Jeffrey right
Yeah, true. He's got the speed bug there. That's absolutely insane. Any comments, questions on here? Beautiful board. Bring on the Dad Bod question. Dad Bod. To be honest, I think that's what I've been sorry. I think that's what I've been waiting for. I can click this on here. I don't know why I'm doing this.
Oh yeah.
I think that's what I've been waiting for, but for the wheels seem low. These are the 7-inch.
Yeah, so these are 7-inch. I'm not sure if he means the wheel size is small or the clearance.
What do you mean by that, Thomas? You mean the clearance on the bottom there?
The clearance enclosure is designed to take impacts, heavy impacts. So if you guys saw the booger video, the booger enclosure is designed for the skate park, and this is built the exact same way as the booger enclosure. There's a huge gash here that's like thicker than your typical carbon fiber layers.
There you go. Look at that chunk taken out of there.
Yeah, so I spent the entire summer riding this board all around Portland with the goal of, literally JJ said, go find anything that looks like it could damage the board and ride over it as many times as you can. So I was
going
off curbs, letting the enclosures hit the curb and slide off.
Yep.
Like, this is a really strong enclosure. I don't think the average rider is going to break it, because I tried to break it and I couldn't.
Benny was saying Dad Bod like the orangutan wheels. He was confused for a second there.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because we noted.
Yeah,
we're cool with them.
I was gonna say great company, right?
Yeah, we're all friends. So. Yeah, so there's no hard feelings there.
Obviously, I think you guys had the name first.
We technically had it first, but like, it's a wheel and one's an entire skateboard.
Yeah.
Like
what we should do is put Dad Bods on Dad Bod.
So when the Dad Bod wheel came out, we didn't have one in hand, but the Zubon 111 is pretty close. Mm-hmm. So we put this on Zubons. Dude, if you turn hard enough, the side of the enclosure will like be off the ground by like the thickness of a penny.
So what you're saying is
this is not a 2-in-1. This is not a 2-in-1.
So you're only wasted on flats. What you're trying to say?
No. on your thing.
Zubons, yeah.
On Zubons, yeah. No, I don't think we recommend it Zubons. But on the 7-inch, honestly, I didn't. It was pretty hard to find stuff I could bottom out on.
Yeah.
With this setup, it's a decent amount of clearance. We looked at the competition.
Yeah.
Their clearance, and we pretty much matched it.
Perfect.
So.
Yeah.
That's pretty much
the trucks and everything like that. They're just insane. Like it's a beautiful board. I guess if you guys are coming to Eastgate Con, Hoyt will be there. It's definitely recommend popping in and checking out their boards. Dad Bod, the UAV, and Metroboard will also be coming there with a few other boards. So if you're new, if you're coming in, popping in, I know there's more people jumping in right now, but it's gonna be 4 boards, I think, announced at Eastgate Con.
Yeah, I think 4 boards.
Okay. Trying to read these comments, guys. I'm sorry. I've been talking with Lee Rad from UK, and he's a battery builder, highly recommended, highly quality. Oh, for battery building, I got you. By the way, huge shout out to the board. Why am I doing this here? Thomas is just throwing out great questions here. So, board stock demanding racing. So many companies like Evolve made the boards for events. Sorry, need to be said.
No comment.
No comment. Yeah.
All I'll say is that we ship our boards as powerful as it can go.
Yeah.
So people we'll get customers like, oh, I just got this, and I know you have a vest. How could I tune up to get more top? I'm like, no, we maxed it out already. It's already as fast as it can go.
I mean, that whole
investment, putting the ESC that can do more if you're not going to put it.
Right. If you're not going to give it the best, you guys have tuned it. It's not like. It's hard because American culture and other cultures, people will buy a Porsche in America and they'll throw a bigger turbo in it. They'll throw stuff like that. Why? Like Porsche designed that thing to be a driving machine, but yet Americans are always like, I want the biggest, baddest, whatever. And then like you go to.
We just did that for you. That's that's the Hoyt thing. Is that Hoyt is just a big bad DIY that you could just buy off the shelf.
Yeah, I agree. 100% agree. So, no comment on that one though, Thomas. Sorry. Nice.
That's fine, Jeffrey. You don't look 50. I love Battery Mooch, John. You're such a great guy.
Yes. I met John at the Hoyt event, the first Hoyt event.
Oh, nice. He came yesterday.
Oh, he did?
Yeah. Really
sorry, I missed him.
Very nice to see you, man.
Yeah.
And Jerry's gonna hit 88 miles an hour and go back to the 80s to invent Eastgate first.
That's great. That's true. 100%. Was it what's the gigawatts, or was it 77 gigawatts?
I get the wattage gigawatts conversion.
Yeah.
Gigawatts.
100%. Sorry.
Get your questions.
I got questions. So my actual last question here, we've been talking about it a bunch, is are you ready for Eastgate Con? I know that you guys are saying you're announcing these 2 other boards from Hoyt, 2 other boards from Metroboard, and again, if anyone's just tuning in for the first time, Zubom is now the umbrella company for Duck, Hoyt, and Metro. They've been manufacturing the wheels, so if you've been in the Eastgate world, they've been manufacturing wheels for use. And it's definitely a great partnership for all of you guys to kind of like come underneath one umbrella and be able to do all that and be able to create boards and stuff like this. So Eastgate Con, though, we keep stressing it. I'm sure I'll keep talking about it for the next until I'm there. But I'm really looking forward to it. I think that a lot of people, it seems like, that are jumping on here are also looking forward to jumping in and being able to try boards like this, where they won't be able to, someone's not going to be able to drop $3,000+ or $4,000.
Well, that's why we got SoCal Legend on the team, because he's going to go on a road trip around the country to any city who asks enough for him to visit and bring the UAV and the X22 for people to demo.
I did see that, right? The Electric Roadshow, right?
Yeah, the Electric Roadshow. So we're sponsoring the Electric Roadshow, and he goes around and demos our board.
So if anyone knows that first time, I don't think it was the first time saying it, Joe from SoCal Legend and his YouTube channel, Electric Roadshow, try to send that 10 times fast, is going to be traveling. So go on his Instagram, message him, tell him to come to your city or state, and hopefully he can show up there and show off the UAV, show off the board system that way. Dad Bod too, or you're not sure yet?
Maybe. Well, after Eastgate Con, we might actually just hand them some of the boards that we announced, like some of the demo units. So he's going to have like a rotating, updated inventory of Hoyt and Metro boards.
That was one of the questions I want to ask you. Your Quiver, your ID Quiver, 3 top boards, 3 boards. No, it doesn't matter whether you built it, buy it, whatever it may be, but your 3 top PVs. I don't want to limit to boards. Maybe
I probably want to get one of these, but with the gear drive on it.
Okay.
I want my Rosinante build, but I'm actually downgrading the speed and upgrading the torque on it.
Okay.
So that's going to be like my short track racing board, and then the third board, I'm not sure, maybe like a Booger or something, or one of the new boards coming out is really fun to ride. I think I might have one of those.
Okay.
Yeah, it's hard to choose, man.
Yeah.
I got like in my apartment at any time, I got like Hoyts and Metro boards like stacked like this, and like my DIY should just thrown into the corner because I test ride the boards. I mean, I rode this for like almost 1,000 miles over the summer. Yeah. This specific model, just to make sure everything was intact. I mean, not just this. Actually, over the summer, I was testing 3 different boards. Some of the ones are going to be announced. Yeah, it's so cool to have a machinist like right there next to us, because it's like, oh, we designed this new part, make it, and then Jackson, don't come to work tomorrow, just go ride it and see how it breaks or if it breaks.
Not a bad job to say. Not a bad job to be able to wake up every single day and ride electric skateboard or test out or seriously thrash out electric skateboard.
And if you fall while testing at Hoyt, it can count as a day. And you come in the next day because you can't walk. I sprained my ankle on this. I hit leaves that I know you're supposed to dodge wet leaves, but I thought it was just a little bit, and I went straight. It was the thickness of the wet leaves was actually like this much.
Versus black ice.
Board just went sideways. That's way too hard, and
And JJ was like,
that's why I didn't race at ABS.
And they're like, getting to work right now.
Yeah.
They keep testing it out.
So I told JJ, I'm like, this doesn't do well on wet leaves, and he's like, I know. No skateboard does.
Both your favorite urethane wheel.
Damn, I built my first DIY on the ABEC Superfly 107s.
Okay.
Those are that's what really got me into it. So I got to give that's one of my favorites because it got me into the hobby and all that. Zubom 111s are really nice. I really kind of moved away from Thane.
Yeah.
Just the places, riding in New York, Thane, riding in Portland, definitely not. Yeah. I mean, Portland's it goes from super smooth and peaceful to you're basically off-road. It's super.
Yeah.
You just Thane is just not, and then also the amount of rain in Portland.
True.
Yeah, I'm not much of a Thane rider.
I do have an answer for that from a company. Actually, I didn't even show you this. I don't know if you've seen these yet. Haven't even tested them yet. Sorry, I'm going to do a hijack. But check it out.
Oh, I've seen these online. Yeah. I'm looking at reviews on these. I'm curious.
It's interesting. So sorry, that's a complete sidetrack, X-Way came out with a board called the Hydro Wheel, meant to drive in wet conditions. So
I want to see somebody get the same board, put these on, go at a certain speed in soaked roads.
Yeah.
Slam the brakes, measure the distance, get pneumatics that are completely bald like these.
Yeah,
These are the same tires from ABS.
These
These are the ABS tires.
Yeah.
No, the tread.
I see Jeff's name carved on the side of this one right here.
Yeah. And I want to compare because I want to know, like, can you modify a urethane wheel to get to the point of pneumatics at their worst?
Yeah.
If you could do that, then I'm a bit convinced.
I love. I mean, I'm still a street rider. I still like those 2-in-1 boards, so I still like that feeling of urethane on a board. When you ride something like this, though, it makes you question. We're like, well, maybe I'll just stick with the AT tires. But I like the portability option. I haven't ridden the Booger yet, so I mean that's one thing that I probably
so small and light, dude.
I was gonna say, like, that's something that I would definitely love to try out and put to test and stuff like that. So, and that's more like my jam, like in that sense. So urethane wheel, I don't know. Yeah, like the Mad 105s. Like I know I stress those enough. People love those. It's just something about that. It's great grip, great range, clearance.
I'm gonna hijack your computer here because I want you to answer this one.
What 3 boards would be in your quiver? Oh, for me. Oh, so the UAV, the 12S4. I think it's fantastic. I mean, like, you're 12 to 15 miles of range, especially when you can, like, if you're talking about getting a
15 to 25.
Sorry, 25. But if you're talking about the faster charging abilities potentially on that as well too, like, that would be something that's like
maybe the next UAV size battery size. I'm not going to say on the podcast.
No,
but the other one we spoke about, you might want that.
Yeah, so like something like that where it's got the range and the lightness to it. This is a beast. Like, for me, I still.
What's the longest ride you've ever been on?
29, like almost probably, it was like a little over 30 miles. I think actually it was my hurricane test on Thanes. So it was 90 millimeter thing, and like 3.5 hours of riding, and we were just going back and forth. So my friend also had
93 millimeter thing, dude. That's impressive.
On a 90 millimeter.
Oh, 90, that's
My feet were toast. So that was like, I think that was like my second or third video I put out on my YouTube channel, and it was like 28. Yeah, I think it was like maybe it was under 30. I can't remember. It's 28 to 30 miles of range. I think I actually stopped because we were running out of daylight, and I was like, I still had battery life left. I was like, holy shit. And I was like gunning it.
Urethane is so efficient. It's insane.
So for me, my trade is like, like the comfortability and stuff like that of an AT tire, but that range for me is really what I always tell people. And I love the feel of a urethane. So like those.
We got to get you on Hoyt 5-inch pneumatics, because that's like the Hoyt 5-inch pneumatics are rubber, air.
Yeah.
But they're almost the same size as the Cloud Wheel.
Yes. Yeah, you're right. 120s. Yeah, there's I have a 120 set over there.
I gotta get you a set of 5-inch to review.
Well, can we talk about what you and I were talking about as far as no? Okay. Never mind. Sorry. That's something we can't talk about. But yes. So yeah, I would say that for me, like those 105, the Zubon 111s, like that kind of range where it's a little bit bigger. It's bigger than 90 millimeters. I rode 90 millimeters in the city. That was my first time actually going to the city.
That's what I rode too.
90 millimeters. I don't know what I was fucking thinking, but that was a horrible decision. Don't recommend that, but it was definitely something out there. So I would love to try a Booger. The UAV is definitely on there, but I love.
If you're gonna get a board like this, you gotta go on longer rides. I mean, I was so the testing on this I did in Portland. I was riding with the EUC community because the Eastgate community could not keep up.
Yeah.
So this was riding with EUC guys. Okay. 6+ mile rides. Like in the mount, like there's actual terrain there. So it's like hills and mountains and up and down. And so,
do you ever ride a UC?
I tried a couple times to learn. It's so hard. It just keeps tipping over between my legs. Yep. I could press a little bit more.
I got hooked. Ty had his Nicola, and I think it was, I forget what event was it. The Hoyt event? I think it was actually at the Hoyt event as well too. Everything happened at that Hoyt event, and he was the first time I ever started one. And it was what excited me about it was that it was so hard. Because hopping on a skateboard for me, it's like second nature. It just felt natural. So getting on Eastgate, I was like, all right, this is throttle, this is brake. I get it. Like, it totally made sense. But hopping on like an EUC, being able to like lean forward, lean backwards, like riding one wheel. I had a one wheel as my first ever PEV. It felt a semi-natural in that sense. Like I understood like the geometry of like I need to lean forward to go forward, I need to lean backwards to stop, and it got me hooked on that sense. I still don't have an EUC. Hoping to eventually get one, just have one in my quiver. So I'd probably say my PEV would be an EUC, whatever that is at that point.
Duck Battery is going to start making EUC batteries. So maybe you could be a reviewer of that or something.
Figure that one out. I have no idea.
That's down the line.
Yeah, down the line, of course. But yeah, I mean, my other favorite, probably my everyday, which is like, because you're not riding this every day. For me, like in my situation, again, it's all personal. I love my little X-Way Wave. I don't know what it is. Little tiny shortboard, pull the battery off, can swap the battery back in, like hot swap. I love that thing. Just for able to like throw it around in my car and zip around. Maybe the Booger might be my complete replacement.
Booger's nice for that kind of stuff, because we were at Electrify Expo in LA and we were staying in Long Beach, and whole area pretty like compact.
Yeah.
And so we had all the Hoyt boards there, everything. The board I used to get around everywhere was the Booger.
Yeah, I mean,
because I was a vendor at there, they let me just ride the Booger around the entire expo, and I would go get coffee or whatever on the Booger, and it was amazing. That's
my idea, is like, because where I work every single day, my errand runs that I do all day, like whether it's a bank or I have to run to get like stuff signed or whatever, it's less than like a 3-mile trip there and back. So like I was bringing the Hoyt, I've had the Hoyt UAV. I'm riding around the Hoyt UAV, walking up to people's homes. I'm like, I need to get like this sign, and they're like, what the hell is that thing? And I was like, oh, and then I got this whole story explanation. But like, yeah, like that simplicity of like just being able to throw something in there, or even like pick something up and walk around like in a grocery store.
At least it has the handle. You know, the handle makes everything significantly easier.
It's probably the best handle. Backwards/handle is out there of anything I've ever tested before.
It could take a beating. I mean, I turned off the reverse speed limiter on this thing and just slammed it into a curb to see what happened. It just doesn't even.
Yeah, it's.
Last night Gerardo's G-Shock's board got run over by a car.
Of course,
like over the entire rear of his UAV. He had urethane on, and
he had zoo bombs on, right?
And he had zoo bombs on, yeah. And I mean, this was dented a little bit. He bent his axle just the slightest amount.
Right.
Like he was able to keep riding. And we're gonna ship the axle, whatever. No, he's actually gonna ship his entire rear hanger to us, because we have a very specific way we install axles, and we take it. Anything that's a critical component, and by critical means that if it fails while you're riding, if you get hurt, that's a critical component. We do that ourselves. Okay. So we we do
customer services outside. Man.
Yeah, so we do Loctite primer in the axle, clean it, then Loctite prime the axle itself. I mean the hole and the axle, and then we put green Loctite on the shaft, red Loctite on the thread. Like the axle will come out. You have to use a massive blowtorch to get it out. So stuff like that we do ourselves. But we have Mario Contino in New York doing repairs for us. If someone doesn't want to ship their board, they can take it to him and he could repair. He knows everything.
Shout out to Mario. He's a fantastic battery builder, board builder, brilliant man. Another one of the people that got me into this Eastgate world was his videos when he was doing the one-wheel stuff. And I had like my one-wheel pint. I was following him before I met him, and then all of a sudden, like I'm in the chat with the NYC chat, and I kept saying like his name pop up. I'm like, this can't be the same guy. Like this guy, and then I'm like, oh wait, he lives in New York. Then all of a sudden, like I messaged him. I was like, hey man, I think I've watched your videos. And he was like, oh yeah, and great guy. He's helped me film the UAV when the UAV first came. So I went to
such a nice guy.
Yeah,
I met him. Didn't know he was from New York because he just jumped. He was like doing all one wheel stuff, and then one day he jumps onto the DIY Eastgate forum with all these nerds, and just goes, "Hi guys, I want to get into this." And we're all just like, aren't you that guy from YouTube?
Don't you ride one wheels?
Yeah. He just dove right in and ate it.
Yeah. Well,
just right off the bat. He just did his research, ate it, figured it out.
His tipo is a chef's kiss. He definitely
I wrote that. It's fun.
It's definitely a good time. Let me see any more comments on here. Do you find Hoyt have been more focused on getting more content out there through people like me or social media or like SoCal or Braille?
Yeah, we are definitely lacking in social media and content, and we're trying to rev that up. We got you, like you're gonna release a video on how to use our new belt tension system, which is really cool. We have Mario Contino helping with editing and just advice in general. I have to start learning some stuff. I might be messaging you with advice questions and whatnot.
Actually, should I show them the video that my intro video that I showed you?
Oh yeah, sure. Why not? If you could pull it up.
Give me 1 second here, guys. This is a exclusive. I think I've shared it with Jackson and maybe 2 other people. Let me find it here. Do I have it in here?
So this is from updated UAV review, like long-term UAV review. We gave you the updated one for 2 months for review. You got the new motors, the match card. We just have about like 10 or more power on it. Just wanted to, because the original video was good. But we wanted to like, dude, if this guy's gonna make a video, just give him the latest screen.
Yeah.
Let's give it to you for actual
and every single week I'm messaging out riding in. There's bringing it. So it's actually my friend Dan riding it, who is a vehicle hurricane rider, and he hopped off the thing and was like, I don't know if I can go back. But yeah, this is just this is my local town, my Asbury Park here, and this is the sneak peek to my wall review that I'm putting out. So it's gonna be kind of interesting.
Yeah. And, talking about like trucks and all that, part of the research is what I've learned doing research is that most people who have a TKT truck, no matter what brand it's from, they tend to they have it when they first start and they're riding under 20. Especially if they're going over 25, they tension it down so tight that it doesn't even turn like a TKT anymore. And that's kind of like the thing that we're solving with these, what we call Rosa trucks, is get high stability and still make that one weird turn on your ride.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think you guys have nailed it. You can see even the low speeds here, he's able to whip it around. All right. What do you guys think? Was that cool? that was something that I've been working on, just putting together, and it was a fun time. Like I said, the board is just a dream, be able to stop on the sand, be able to ride around.
How's the acceleration compared to the original launch?
So it's buttery. I that's the one thing is like you hop on the on other boards and you realize like you got it pushes and it kicks you off hard even at low speeds. And I guess that's like what you would want to compare to like a thrill board, if you will. Like so, let's just say a production board, gun it, and I'm like whoa, and I'm like snap off, and then I ease back into it. With this one, I'm able to off the line like literally slam on it. You can spin like tires if it's like, you know, like a little slightly rain house like that. Spin tires, no problem. But the acceleration curve is just smooth. It's smooth. You don't realize how fast you're going until all of a sudden you like look down at like I have my Apple Watch. I have the ride app that shows me my speed and stuff on there. Or when I'm riding my Speedr and I'm like, holy shit, I'm doing 38 miles an hour without even thinking about it. I just, yeah, it's a beautiful secret salt spice. I'm going to keep saying that over and over again. It's like your whatever blend you have, whatever your vest tuning is you've nailed it compared to the motors. I know your other motors were black magic compared to what it was.
The board got louder with the new motors.
Yeah,
but it seems like people didn't care about the sound anyway.
No, I mean, when would you? Like you're riding it almost the same thing on a motorcycle. Like you kind of want to be as loud as possible in certain situations if you're riding in like an urban area or something like that, to kind of let people know you're either around them or behind them or whatever. It's one of those things where I'm riding on like a small board all of a sudden, or a hub, like a hub drive board, and someone's like, oh shit, I didn't see you there. And you're like, hey, yeah, just get outside. Something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that you guys, that the new motors here,
they get loud after like 25 miles an hour, but under 25, they're still pretty quiet.
No,
but the old motors, the one that were less powerful, man, those were made no noise. Like
I know,
couldn't hear anything.
And the size comparison, like I know they're
only 20% weaker.
Yeah,
but they're way smaller.
Yeah, they're way small. Like they were so small. And you look at them, you're like, what? Like that's not like I'm used to seeing like these are like you said like fat cannons on the back of these things, which these are pretty reasonable.
Now they're huge.
Yeah. But you look at that board and people probably say something like, that's not a fast board. And then you get on this thing, you're like, oh no, I can still hit like 35 miles an hour. That's no problem. Like that's nuts. That's nuts to hear that.
What is Evan says, a well-built board is terrifying.
Oh, there's a bunch of stuff here.
Oh, they're saying that the thing started lagging when you put the video up.
Oh, my bad, guys. Interactions.
You'll see it when it's released.
Yeah.
I see Evan's comment there. He wrote like a whole paragraph.
A well-built board is terrifying. My original Cali build started to feel really squirmy around 27. I never took it above that, but once I built my mountain board, I can go 40 without realizing how fast. I agree. I think a properly built board definitely makes the world a difference, and something that's reliable and has the proper R&D and stuff like that behind there, and the safety features with it is definitely on there. It's awesome how planted you feel with a well-built board. Yeah, I agree. 100% right.
Yeah, I mean, we just take this stuff super seriously. I mean, we realize how dangerous it is. Like we do.
Yeah,
like, we ride it, so we know
it's a motorsport though. Like you realize the risks when you jump on something like this. Like you tell people all the time, "What's up, buddy?" You tell people all the time that here, you want to come here? Want to say hi to everyone? Sorry, my son is patiently waiting. Apparently, he got to sleep in my house. Can you say hi to everyone?
Hi.
What's your name?
Porter.
What are you named after? What's Porter named after?
Ilya.
Porter, Maine.
Portland, Oregon. Yeah.
Portland, Maine. All right, buddy. All right, we'll be down in a few minutes, okay? I've lost my train of thought completely there. But yes, riding a safe board, playing board, agreed. All well and good. 43 miles on my 16S 7P Baja board. Sorry, Craig, I'm going to pull that up there.
1607 Baja board. Is it sad that I still want more range? 2033 for another upgrade. Bring on the Dad Bod. Maybe one day. Australia too. No, we actually have a battery building partner in Australia also. So that will be soon.
There you go.
That we could announce. That's Full Send Electric.
Oh yeah.
That's our battery builder in Australia.
Oh, sick. There
and
you go,
our
Craig.
retail partner as well.
I think Craig might even work with them. I saw you post something on there. Maybe that was a different company, eCross. Maybe I don't know. But yes, that's awesome.
Yeah,
All
Al at Full Send Electric, such a cool guy. He's hilarious. Such a funny guy. I can't wait to meet him in person.
Oh, so we get to go to Australia now?
I would go in a heartbeat.
On Hoyt St.
Fireboards, and then we could maybe do that.
260 kilometers, from coast to coast. Yeah. Did you ever see Thomas's stuff? You gotta check his YouTube video.
You're gonna give me a list of people to watch.
Yes, I'm sorry. So Thomas,
I gotta
coast to coast 260 kilometer ride. That was on the. Was that on your XLR or was that on your Lone Star?
I rode the XLR. Mary Hill, the Mary Hill race. So I rode the XLR like full tilt up Mary Hill. You guys hosted or you were co-sponsored? Yeah, for that. Yeah, we sponsored the electric uphill part. Yeah. Our sponsored downhill rider was also racing the downhill part.
And did he do the uphill too?
He did the uphill, yeah. But yeah, so the XLR was really cool uphill. Yeah. It definitely is a high speed board. Like Excellent. It's made for high speed.
Yeah. So it was on the XLR for him. When he did that coast to coast thing, that was a great series you did there, bud.
Yeah, that thing was like a Batmobile,
man. Seriously. Okay, hold on one second, bud. We're almost done, all right? All right. Does anyone else have any other questions? Because I actually have gone through all my questions that I've gone on here. Is there anything else you want to bring up?
Not really. I mean,
covered a lot of topics here.
I would love to hear from the community what kind of content they want to see out of the Hoyt and Metroboard YouTube channel. Okay. Because that's where we really got to improve.
All right.
And that's kind of all on me.
Yeah. So I know that I've been making content for you guys and whatnot, but why don't you, whoever is right now, go on to Hoyt, reach out to them directly. Are you running the Hoyt page on Instagram?
Yeah. Me and JJ. Okay. Go back and forth.
Yeah. All right. So, reach out to them, reach out to me. Is there something that you want? I have the UAV. They're going to be sending me boards. They're going to continue the partnership there as well too. So if there's stuff that you guys want to see where it's uphill climb tests or long range tests, like I have all the stuff like coming out, but if there's something specific that you wanted to see in comparison to it or content wise, please, feel free to reach out to, it's at Hoyt, Hoyt Skate. And mine is at DE Drones, which on DE_drones. Is there anyone else in here? 30 minutes, we'll watch back when you're done. Appreciate that, brother. Question for Drew. If you didn't have responsibilities in a family, would you hit 44 miles on Dadbod? 100%. 100%. I mean, like I said, it didn't feel fast when I was doing it at 37, 38 miles an hour. Like, I mean, I'm sure that difference of speed, and I mean, you can only attest to that, would be there. I'd be willing to try it. I mean, full gear up, everything on, and be able to rip on, especially on a close test track or something like that. I knew like there's a lot more. Sorry.
That's okay. I got you. Yeah. And Jeffrey, so this board, and anything we test obviously has a little black box in it that's taking data logs of any moment the board is on. Like even when I was like, it accidentally on when I bring up the board here, he was logging that. Yeah. Like it's always logging with GPS antenna and everything. Yeah. Jeffrey hit 43.5 miles an hour on the long straightaway. That's slight uphill at AVS. So
that's insane.
So he knows. He
knows. You know what that speed feels. And I know there's other EU riders out there that are like 44. That's like that's nothing.
On an Eastgate, that's a lot. Man.
It's a lot on an Eastgate,
especially because there's always like people think there's a trade-off. Like if you want to hit 44, it means your board cannot turn tight. Right. Jeff, this board turns tight angles.
I was like, look at the AVS race videos. You can see it all on there.
I didn't race, but I hit the course. There's some tight turns on there. Yeah. We couldn't just crank down the trucks. No, they had to stay loose.
Yeah. No, it's a great balance in that sense. I 100% do there. Building process at the what is that? Building process at the art being made. So much detail. Yes. This is a movable piece of art. I've said that in several of my
I think one of the taglines we have on the website is performance art.
Yeah, it's definition of that. I would 100% say it's a definition of that.
Heath Lewis says, I want to see Jeffrey be the first to do 50 plus on a Hoyt.
50 plus in a Hoyt, yeah.
We got to get him on the 56 mile per hour gearing. Yeah.
Yeah, let him do that.
I actually did all the testing on the 56 mile per hour version because that's harder on the ESC. It's harder on the battery. It's harder on the motors.
Yeah.
And so I purposely did it on the least efficient gearing just to see how bad it was. And then once I was, okay, this is good. It's not failing at the super high. Because when you gear a board really high, low speed electronics will work really hard.
Yep.
So then we tested it at the worst case scenario. Then we put the stock pulleys on, which lowers the top speed but increases the torque a lot. Incredible, man. Like, holy crap.
I would try it. I would absolutely try it. Like I've said, I'm excited to get on the track at East and be able to kind of like rip around and be able to showcase it in its true form of enjoying there. So you guys are Steve Jeffrey Firstmouth, Hoyt channel. Heath Lewis, you're fearless if anyone can say the board is you. Yeah, it's true. Heath's videos of him riding up the mountains in Colorado and stuff like that. Like another one, Heath, I commend you completely because watching those videos like really inspired me. Again, I know you had the Le Croix, but it wasn't a Le Croix. It was all of your components and everything that were inside of it. It's nuts. I was watching those videos and watching him like do 40 miles an hour up.
I was excited to try it board at AES, but I don't know. Something was up with it, so I didn't get to try it, but I got to try the other one that somebody built that was like inspired by it.
Yeah.
Crazy amount of power.
AJ's. Yeah. No, I would love to try it. I know AJ was like, I'm going to come to the thing. He's like, trust me, you're going to ride. I'm like, I don't know if I can handle a 20S, but I know. I'll try it. Why not?
It turns really well, too. It was a really nice ride.
Yeah.
AJ's board, yeah.
It would be great to have another UK demo in the summer. I missed Lee Wright's one.
Oh, yeah. That has a funny story behind it because our JJ, the owner, Hoyt, was going to the UK for multiple reasons. Mm-hmm. And kind of like right before Carve, we had to scramble and basically build a flight-safe battery for the UAV so he could take it.
Yeah.
He got on multiple flights in Europe, hopping around Europe, showing everyone the board, meeting with European makers, doing a hands-on inspection of their workshop and making sure they're up to our standards. And he had this UAV in the one-of-one travel bag that fits the UAV.
Wow.
Because it was too much, and we axed that. But he got on so many flights, no problem with the travel-safe battery. The second he gets to Europe, to Germany, they take the battery with him. Even though it's like exactly built to spec, legal, everything, they took it away from him.
Yeah.
So then Apex had to like last minute, like get us a 12S 4P, like just top box to just slap onto the board, but no battery in it.
All right. It works, right?
And that was the demo. Yeah. It was unfortunate, but it made it around a bunch of flights. Flight safe. That's the thing with flight safe batteries, that even if they're perfectly to spec, you still might get screwed.
Of course. My one and only German story, we were our honeymoon. We went to Oktoberfest for our honeymoon, part of our honeymoon, and we were flying back, and I had my drone, my Nikon, a bunch of batteries, like all the stuff in my backpack. Had no issues from Iceland, had no issues from Paris, nothing like that. Got to Germany, was going through safety checks, same thing. Got like through speak German. They started yelling at me in German. I assume he was yelling. It's probably just normal talking. But like,
jeez,
they're like, stand over here, whatever it was. And I'm like, so I hold up my passport. And I was like American. And the guy was like, come with me. I was like, oh my god. I'm like, I'm gonna get like screwed or something like that. Like something's getting stolen from my phone or whatever. He opens it up. He literally takes the drone out. He goes, open stuff. I was like, what do you mean open it up? He's like, open. I was like, unfold it. Like, I'm like, you want me to fly in here? What do you want me to do? Like, had no. And then they
show me how it works. It's so cool.
So no, it wasn't that at all. It was not that at all. So they're like, I unfold it. I take the battery off. I show them like I'm showing the battery. I'm like, it's flight safe battery. I was like, I'm not sure what's happening here. At the end of it, it was like 45 minutes of like them conversing with people, but finally they let me go. I'm like, I'm going home. I'm going back to Iceland, and then I'm going to America. Please kill me or take the drone. I need this. So eventually they let me go, but yeah, I can only imagine. Like, it's funny that they had an issue as well too.
I was meeting with a customer to upgrade Gerardo's UAV to the new motors and all that. Mm-hmm. I brought an extra screwdriver with me. They took it from me. They said no power tools. I'm like, dude, this is the weakest power tool in the world. It's like this big.
On the FAA?
Yeah, no just way. Because they're like, what is this? I'm like, it's a screwdriver. And then I slipped and said it was an electric screwdriver. Said, no power tools allowed. I'm like, come on, that's not a power tool.
Like, it's battery operated. Thank you for today's interview. Great to hear more about the brand. Thank you, Thomas. I really appreciate you guys for stopping by. I think we're good, right, ma'am? Yeah. I mean, covered everything like that. Again, if you guys have any questions, comments, or anything like that, you can reach out to Hoyt directly on their Instagram page. You can reach out onto their YouTube page and stuff like that. They have that growing. We're going to be making
we're going to make more content soon.
And same for me, if you guys ever have any questions or like that, you can reach out to me, DE Drones, or on here at YouTube. My channel here, please, give it a thumbs, like up, subscribe, all that jazz, all those fun YouTube things. I really appreciate you coming out here, man.
Yeah, let us know what you want Drew to do with our boards, and we'll send him a board. He'll do it.
Yeah, when you first messaged me and you were like, I want you to be a part of the Hoyt, I was like, yes. I was like 100%. I was like, I'm so in on this one because riding that board the first time it's a dream. I mean, whenever you get something like that handed to you and you're just like, yeah, have fun with it. I'm like, that's like a kid in candy shop type of thing, right? Like, it's hard to say no to something like that.
Make some room for more candy, man.
Yeah, dude,
I'm
so pumped. And yeah, there's more coming down the pipe there. Eastgate Con, 4 boards being announced, 2 from Hoyt, 2 from Metroboard. So looking forward to that. And again, thank you so much for coming on here. Really appreciate it, brother. All right,
Thanks
looking forward.
me.
Absolutely. We'll have you back out again, and hopefully maybe we'll even do one of these in Vegas. I'll bring it there. Have some more people out there, right?
Yeah.
All right, guys. Until next time, thank you so much. Peace. Always wear a helmet.